But okay, great. That means Lakers simply know to not build out their team or their payroll around LeBron taking a pay cut, right? Well, not exactly. As apart from that, according to The Athletic, they might not be able to count on him returning to their team, with the report saying that people close to LeBron are not ruling out the possibility of him finishing his career elsewhere, citing his pursuit of a 5th ring, which might not be with the Los Angeles Lakers. So with that in mind here, would LeBron actually leave their team? Would that help the Lakers in any way? And how would that actually affect their team from a building standpoint or from a championship outlook standpoint? Well, number one, just to be clear here, no. Once again, that would not give them cap space, or not any really workable salary cap space. That appears to be a common misconception. Many believe that if LeBron would walk from their team, or that they would trade him or kind of salary dump him, then they would have the ability to sign a max contract kind of player, even some people thinking they could sign 2 of them, or sign a bunch of free agents and then be able to replace LeBron. But unfortunately for those that have that in mind or are hoping for that, I'm here to tell you that's not the case. Pulling up the Lakers payroll, you can see that they have a payroll amount of roughly $191 million for next season, with the contract of LeBron and Dorian Finney-Smith factored in, both of which are currently player options that are neither opted in or opted out of. But factoring in the $52 million projected contract of LeBron, that again being via player option, even if you would let that go or take that away from their payroll, that would only drop their payroll down to roughly $140 million. And with the salary cap projected to be at $155 million next season, that would give them a grand total of $14 million in cap space. So yeah, pretty much they would get from the non-taxpayer mid-level exception, which they would be able to attain with a LeBron pay cut, or by simply adjusting their payroll. So not really a big difference or really any advantage to be made here. LeBron leaving their team would pretty much spell financial disaster for their team. No, not from a money-making standpoint per se, but from a team-building standpoint, and with their current payroll. They're simply not set up for LeBron to leave their team. They have too many long-term to relatively long-term contracts to rebuild and be able to replace him in not only a 1-year standpoint, but even up to a 2 or 3 year standpoint. It would be incredibly difficult for them to do that, so once again, no, you should not be hoping for LeBron to leave their team, especially if we're talking about walking in free agency. But the good news here is that I personally don't believe that's very likely. Even with this report, we tend to get a report like that every year and ultimately nothing comes from it. LeBron either opts out and then signs a new contract with their team, or opts into that contract and comes back to their team on a 1-year deal, which in my opinion is not a big problem. Even if it's actually his camp trying to put pressure on them, that's nothing new for them and shouldn't be anything they shy away from, with them now adding Luka Doncic, yet another guy that should and will apply pressure to their team to be able to build a contending team around him for both the short-term and long-term future. So definitely have zero issue with it, whether it's from LeBron, a fake report and simply made up, definitely not an issue in my opinion, and something they really don't have to factor in regard to him leaving their team. If that would actually happen, there's really nothing they can do about it, but what they can control here is figuring out their payroll with both a LeBron pay cut and without a LeBron pay cut, which appears to be the more likely route for him to take here.